My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday, kids. It is a great day to live in South Lake County. And yes, it is a happy South Lake morning. I am so happy to be here. Do you know, our guest today, I have actually been talking to for months about coming on the show. We finally coordinated it. Dear friend of mine, we're going to talk about that in half a second. What are we going to talk about today? Jay, did you get any more feedback on my dog, Sweetie?
No, I think we went over that yesterday. I think Glenn Holcomb is the only person who so far has agreed with me that your dog is terrified, but that's okay.
All right.
If I get any more reports, I will definitely send them your way.
My wife actually agrees with you. The dog just looks terrified.
Okay, so we're 3-3.
So it's not necessarily my fault, but she said it does look terrified, so I may have to own that one and say I was wrong.
We'll just pick a different picture next time.
Oh, man. I think I'm having a seizure from saying that, I think. I was wrong. Okay, we'll shake that off. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about Food Day and Bologna. And you'll notice I spelled it Bologny. I hope Jay did it. No, he corrected me.
I generally spell check all of Joe's texts, and I actually spelled it the correct way.
Well, we'll talk about that later. We're also going to talk about the World Series briefly today. We're going to continue our series on conflict and resistance on Cup of Joe. And finally, when we come back, we're going to have Debra Flora, who is co-owner and marketing director for A1 Aluminum, an amazing company here doing something very special. It's not just about aluminum, so you really need to stay tuned. We're going to hear from our family of sponsors. Love them sponsors. I know, I'm too old. I can't make that heart thing, so bear with me. Love the sponsors. When we get back, we'll get right to it. I'll see you in a minute.
Welcome to Erica's Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Clearmont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erica's Tea Room, making memories with every cup.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the mortgage firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Our team has over 30 years of experience helping first-time homebuyers, veterans, move-up buyers, seasoned investors, and more. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
Welcome back, and once again, it is always good to hear from our sponsors. We'll talk more about them in a few minutes. All right, getting right into it today. It is actually National Food Day, and I thought it was quite ironic as I started to do the research for today that National Food Day is actually a day that encourages you to avoid overly salty, overly processed, factory-produced meats, processed foods, and to eat healthier, not just plant-based, but to eat things that are less processed and less chemically oriented. And I thought this was actually a good subject for today because we had Karen Trawick on yesterday, and she was absolutely fantastic. Learned an awful lot from Karen, and not just about her journey with breast cancer, but what we can do to change our lives. You know, you don't have to have breast cancer and face mortality to live a better life, to feel better, to look better, to just fit better in who you are. And that might mean making changes. Now, you don't necessarily have to do like Karen's done where you changed everything, but I think you'd be surprised at a few small changes. Dedicating yourself to 2 or 3 plant-based meals a week even. might do you a little better. I'm trying to make some changes in my life, as difficult as it seems to be. And I'm really looking forward to some of the changes. So we also covered Vita 365 in our South Lake Bites segment. You can always watch yesterday's show. Find Vita 365 on our South Lake Bites segment on our Facebook page. And a good way to celebrate Food Day would be to go in and eat a healthy meal at either of these locations. So please reach out to them. The other thing it is today is it's Bologna Day. Now, where I'm from, we call it bologna. I know it's spelled Bologna, but where I'm from, we call it bologna. Now, bologna can be a processed meat on a sandwich. You can fry it for dinner, or it can be something somebody's slinging when you don't want to use a cuss word. So he's full of bologna, as opposed to he's full of something else. I actually brought out bologna because there are some of you out there who are anti-eating better. You're anti-healthy food. You don't believe in any of it. So for you, if you don't eat healthy today, well, go out and get yourself some bologna and do yourself a favor. Don't get the cheapest stuff in the case. Get something that's beef-based, something that has some oomph to it. And slather it up with mustard or mayo or both and have at it. And that's the way to celebrate Bologna Day, is to eat a bologna sandwich. Okay, World Series. It's the World Series. This took me by surprise because Joe does not know sports, as we all know. How about you, Jay? You're a baseball fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I watch. I dabble in the baseball every once in a while. I'll pull this up for you real quick. So this is the current setup for the postseason in the MLB.
There you
We
go.
are currently Washington Nationals, which is their first time in the series. They are leading the Astros, the Houston Astros, 2-0. So
Now, you know, when I was a kid, my grandfather was really into baseball. I wasn't. I can remember he took me to, and I am this old, that they used to have a hard time selling tickets midweek at the Boston Red Sox. The Fenway would give stuff away, and we used to go on Fish Day. So for the purchase of every ticket, they would give you a pound of haddock. And I can remember my grandfather used to drag both my brother and I, who were little kids, who had no interest at all, because he could get 3 pounds of haddock, which fed our family for 2 days. That was my interest in baseball. The experience at the stadium back then was really good too. The Green Monster and sitting behind steel girders. The thing that I think is really amazing about this is that because of technology, it used to be a thing that if the World Series was on, you had to watch it while it was on. But now we have DVR and streaming and all of this stuff. You don't necessarily. My wife is a fanatic for the World Series, and I came across it last night, and I'm like, "How come we're not watching this?" She's like, "Well, I'm tired. I'll just watch it when I have time." For an old lady, that was quite a statement. So, what do you think about it? It's the Nationals are 2 games up, aren't they?
yes, sir.
I mean, I don't know much about baseball, but these are new teams as far as I'm concerned. I remember the Red Sox and the Yankees, and Houston's been around for a little while, but it's kind of neat that Washington went without a team for the longest time, or at least without a team that was recognized. These guys got elevated to MLB status as an expansion team, and then now they're in the World Series. It's could we see history made? First time in the series they take it all in a sweep? That would be interesting. I've always thought that they manipulate this. That, it seems like every year it comes down. What do you got to do? There's 7 games? Is it 7 games?
Yes, it is a 7-game format. The first 2 games, it goes 2-3-2 as far as that goes. So 2 games at one stadium, whoever has home field advantage. 3 games at the other team stadium, and then 2 final games at the home field advantage team, which in this case appears to be, I think it is the Nationals, but I'll have to double check that for you.
So here's the thing. I mean, if I understand the process correctly, the first team to get to 4 games wins the series.
That is correct.
So if the Nationals sweep the first 4 games, there are no 3 more games. I've been watching for years. I don't think that's happened in a long time. It seems they always get down to that by some miracle. It's always 3-3 when the 7th game rolls around. Certainly it's not going to get done in 5 games. It's going to be 6 or 7 games. And I've always wondered, is that motivated by the money spent on it? By the money for advertising? I mean, what happens if somebody spends $1 million to be on that game and, then the game doesn't happen? This is the way Joe's mind works. I think we beat that horse to death. Anything else to say about the World Series, Jay?
No, I'm interested to see how it all goes down, and I do believe actually the Houston Astros have home field advantage. So the Nationals have won 2 games in Houston, and they have a chance to take. If you are correct in doing the sweep, they could actually do that at home in the next 2 games. So
it would be kind of
interesting.
It would be kind of neat to see that happen, especially for a team that had never been there before. So it would be a moment in sports history. Trivia for you to play in 3 or 4 years to know that. So. As I just said, we're beating that horse, so we're going to move on. All right, Cup of Joe. Look, this week we're talking about conflict and resistance, and we've talked about changing your perspective. We've talked about detaching, emotionally detaching. Actually, Jay had a great idea after we were done with the segment. I talked yesterday about how you should determine how long you're going to be upset for. Okay, you make a determination, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 days, whatever you do. Jay actually suggested that you have a song. You pick a song, and I'm going to add that feeds your spirit. And when the song is over, then you're done feeling bad about that. You're going to emotionally, did I get that right, Jay?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so do you have a song already picked?
I went with Limp Bizkit, Break Stuff. So that way that's a good rage song. So just listen to that, and then after it's over, all right, I'm done. Let it go.
Now, see, I might say something that lifts you up a little more, but that's okay. No. Do what you need to do. It's your 5 minutes to be upset.
That's right. Let's make the most of it.
Please don't break anything valuable or punch anybody. You're going to be upset before you act. Remember?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to detach. So I come down. Today I'm calling 2 choices. Because once you detach, you have 2 choices to make. Okay? The first choice is, are you going to retaliate or not? It's a yes or no question. I feel as if somebody has come against me. They've done something to hurt me personally, professionally, relationally, emotionally. Something along there has piqued my negative feelings. I'm feeling negative energy. Am I going to retaliate? Now, sometimes, in a few very rare instances, retaliation is called for. But you know what? I'm not the president, a congressman. Okay, that's usually above my pay grade. I find that in my personal life, retaliation is usually the wrong choice. The second choice you have to make, once you decide whether you're going to retaliate or not, is, are you going to confront? So confrontation, in this instance, is simply defined as presenting your feelings to somebody else. Now, my suggestion, and let's face it, sometimes you get into these situations where you're getting resistance, you're feeling conflict and negative energy from somebody else. You may have been attacked, for lack of a better word. Somebody's lying on you, making stuff up. We're going to look at what their agenda is. But you're not really in an authority position, or they're in an authority position that you really can't say, hey, that hurt my feelings, or that doesn't advance the narrative, that doesn't help us get to our goals. You're really not in that position. So you have to learn how to deal with that, okay? That you might just have to eat it. One of the benefits of detaching emotionally is it makes it easier to figure out how you're going to eat it, for lack of a better phrase. If you do decide to confront, my suggestion is a list and I statements, not you statements. It's so easy, and I will lay this out to when you're getting into a discussion or an argument with your spouse. Okay, it's very easy to say to somebody, or somebody you're in a relationship, you make me feel. And when you say you make me feel, that means the way you feel is somebody else's responsibility. But if you say you did this, it's a fact, and I felt this, it's a fact that I felt that, the other person gets the opportunity to say, well, that's not the way I perceived that. I didn't do that. I didn't mean to do that. Or, wow, I did that and I had no idea you would feel that way. Do you see how we have taken a confrontation from you being attacked to you working something out with somebody? That's my best suggestion, is when you're dealing with something like that, if you are in an authority position to be able to bring it to somebody else, you use I statements. And you write a list, use I statements, and tone it down. Because so often the biggest problem with conflict, with resolution, with resistance, is we allow the emotions to take over and then everything escalates. Escalation in this situation doesn't do anybody any good. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to deal with it if you have to make that choice to eat it. If you don't have the ability to turn around and turn it into a conflict resolution situation where you just have to deal with the situation the way it is. So, all right, we have come to the end of that subject. I hope you tune in to see how to finish this conflict and resistance resolution. We are going to go to commercial break again to hear from our family of sponsors. When we come back, I'm going to have my dear friend Debra Flora with us in the hot seat. I just said that because she's nervous anyway. So the seat is made of mesh. It's actually really cool. So we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we'll have Debra, and I'll see you in a minute.
Hello, my name is Michael Singh with Singh Insurance and Financial Services. Our goal is to build trust based on a clear understanding of how your insurance policy protects you, your family, and even your business. When was the last time you took a good hard look at your insurance coverage? Would you be open to the possibility of reviewing your policy with me? One review of your policy can save you valuable time and money. Call me today to set up a review of what may be available to you.
The best things in life aren't items we can grab and hold. They are the moments that grab and hold us. Moments that captivate us, inspire us, and enrich us. Moments that bring joy, strength, and peace. At Singh Insurance and Financial Services, we help you to treasure these times by being there when life's most difficult moments arise. Through our services, you will find independence, flexibility, health, and security that will prosper and protect your life. Whether you are driving that new car, buying that new home, opening that new business, or building a new family, we provide you the peace of mind and freedom to enjoy life's best things. Your next moment is waiting. Are you ready?
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the Mortgage Firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
Purchasing a home? Hi, I'm Mary Rhodes with the Mortgage Firm, your local direct lender for FHA, VA, conventional, and USDA mortgages. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned investor, or looking to purchase a vacation home, we can help. Visit our website today for more information.
Welcome back. Once again, if you're not using our sponsors, you should be. Okay, Michael Singh and Mary Rhodes know their industries, know their businesses inside and out. If you're not using them, you're doing yourself a disfavor. I would like to welcome my friend Debra Flora. We have to make sure we use Debra because Debra has informed us today that if the letters on your first name outnumber the letters on your last name, it's a bad thing. It's just not, going to go well for you in life. Is Jay, do you think this is should we do a public service announcement about this?
We'll have to talk to Debbie about that.
Well,
Debbie, you guys are awesome.
did she say awesome or awful? I'm not quite sure.
We'll have to clarify that after the show.
Yeah. So Debbie is the co-owner and marketing director of A1 Aluminum. She owns the company with her husband, Brad.
Yes.
Brad. Okay. Debbie's the face of the company. So while I have seen her and I recognize her husband, I don't talk to him as much as I talk to Debra. So she is also a member and former ambassador for the South Lake Chamber of Commerce. She's a member of the South Lake Business Leaders. She works on several of their committees. She has a master's degree in early childhood and special education. She is also a someday hopeful to win an election as a Lake County Commissioner because she sees some issues. She thinks her skill set and attitude can help with the county. So we're not talking next year, but someday.
Absolutely.
So keep her in your thoughts and prayers. Debra, welcome. So good to have you on.
It's great to be here, Joe. Thank you.
Even though Debra's a little bit nervous, I'm going to walk her through
Very
this.
much so. But I've seen
will-
your other shows, and your guests are so relaxed. So this is a breeze.
I
You
will
make it a
encourage
breeze.
you. You are not the first to feel that way. You won't be the last. And hopefully, because we're going to talk about what you love, it'll make life easier. So tell us a little bit about who A1 Aluminum is.
Okay, well, A1 Aluminum is me and my husband, Brad. Now, we do incorporate the rest of the family at some point. My brother works with us. My mom and dad also help. Marketing, they help on the job site. And then we have some friends that work with us. So we embody the small family-owned company definition. But what we are is we are a custom outdoor space builder that wants to come to our customers' homes and get to know them, see what their lifestyle is like, see how we can build them an outdoor oasis, not just a screen room, not something ordinary. Brad has been a general contractor in the past. He was a builder for more than 20 years. When we came to Florida, he said, wow, nobody moves here to stay inside, right? So I said, Brad, you can't do everything. Pick one thing. And he said, my passion is the outdoor spaces. This is what I want to do for people. This is what I want to give people. I want everyone to come home and when they walk outside, go, this is mine.
You doing A1 Aluminum does actually a service for the value of a home. I hate those ads on TV. I think there's one for a gutter thing. And there's a guy in it that says, oh, these gutters will increase the value of my home. And I always think, because I'm in real estate, no, it won't. Full disclosure, I am a realtor with Remax Titanium right here in Claremont. Mm-hmm. So nobody thinks, I'm not disclosing. But when you talk about a screen enclosure, I know that when I go to sell a house with a pool, if it doesn't have a screen enclosure, it's worth less.
You're absolutely right, Joe. And what I hear from pool companies and pool maintenance companies is if there is no enclosures, we are charging more per month because it's more work take care of.
Yep.
So it's really a win for everybody.
Pools without enclosures actually break down more because more stuff gets into the pool, clog the filter gets clogged more, that sort of thing.
Correct.
So here's the thing. One of the reasons why I brought Debra on, other than my relationship with her, is she does something unique within her and Brad do something really, and they're really passionate about this customization concept. So tell us why that's important. Why customizing it seems like it's a no-brainer, right? It's a bird cage. Why is customizing the size of the panel or the way it gets together important?
Well, it really depends on your home. If I come to Joe's home and he has a home on the lake and you have a great view outside of the cage that you want me to build, I'm not going to put what we call an upright, an aluminum beam, every 5.5 feet. But that's the way builders have done it for the last 25 years.
Now, why do they do it that way?
It's easy. They can use one set of plans. They can keep using it over and over again. And they don't have to really take into consideration the lifestyle
And they come in standard
of the
sizes,
homeowner.
right? I mean, the uprights, that's why they're by 10,000 10-foot sections, 5.5 foot separators. So that's what they're using.
Right. 5.5 to 6 foot,
Right.
because they come in 24-foot lengths. So if you cut it every 6 foot, you already know you're going to get 4
Right.
out of it. Here we go. Right? We can go put it together. However, if you're on the lake, you might not want an upright every 5.5 feet. You want me to put in an aluminum header and span that picture window as far as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's just so many different things. We do a lot of work in Mineola. Mineola we might go to a customer's house that has a neighbor right behind them. And they say, you know what? I don't necessarily need to see everything that's going on at my neighbor's house. So in that instance, we use privacy glass. We use a thicker screen. We do use more framing. It just depends on the customer.
Okay, so this actually brings me to a great question. All right, is that and I know this, and I want to start this with, why are you a member of the business community? Because I got to tell you, if you are in business in South Lake County, you're going to come across Debra. You're going to see her. I mean, her aluminum, her orange truck. Their uniforms are very good at branding. But you are going to see this happy face, and it's going to lift your day. So why are you a member of the business community? It seems, why would that be important?
I don't want people to be taken advantage of. And Joe, what some people don't know is there's a difference between a licensed contractor or a contractor's license and a business license.
Oh, what is the difference?
Well, I can get a business license to do anything. I can go on Sunbiz, I can make a fictitious name, and I can say, I'm going to sell hot dogs. I have a business license to sell hot dogs. That does not mean that I'm regulated, that I'm following the codes for,
So what, that costs me $50 and takes
right,
20 minutes,
the
right?
industry, things like that.
So what do I got to do to get a contractor's license?
Well, to get a contractor's license, you have to prove contractor's competency. And you have to do continuing education. You have to pass a test. There's many different aspects of getting that contractor's license. We have what's called an aluminum specialty license. So we are licensed to build, okay? What I see happening and that breaks our heart is we have some people that call us that say, I paid this other company or this other person 50% up front, and then I found out they don't have a contractor's license. They can't pull a permit, which is required in Lake County for a screen enclosure. They can't pull a permit. They can't help me get HOA approval because my HOA wants me to use a licensed contractor, not somebody with a business license or not somebody that just has a driver's license and insurance. So we really like to go out and educate people. We welcome the opportunity. We have spoken at HOA meetings. We welcome the opportunity to do that because in any industry, you want to use a licensed contractor, not just ours. There are many good licensed screened enclosure companies in South Lake County, but use one that is a licensed contractor.
So what we're trying to avoid is we don't want to use the guy who, maybe somebody comes in and says, you come in and give me one price, and they give me a price that's like 60% less. Seems like a good deal, right?
Yes.
I mean, but what's going to happen? You were telling me about this story. I want you to talk about that lady that gave over the money, that you were talking about.
Yes. So she's an older lady on her own. Her kids live in the area, but they don't live with her adult children. And she hired someone to come in and extend her back lanai, which means pour concrete and put an enclosure from the house out back. She paid 50% up front, which is not unheard of. That's not what we collect, but, whatever somebody else's
Business
procedures
practice,
are, that's
them,
fine.
Right.
That's fine. I would never pay 100% up front. But
Can you give us an idea of what kind of money that was? I mean, were we talking $200?
her total bill was $7,000. So she had turned over $3,500.
So what happened after she turned over the money?
Well, she kept calling. She never heard from the man again. So at first he would respond. He would call her back. Then when she texted, he would text her back. Then it was few and far between. Then it was not happening. Then it was not happening. And then she found out he is not a licensed contractor. And he probably, we can't speak to his intentions, but he probably did not intend to build her room because he had no idea how to pull the permits or how to plan for the concrete expansion. So it took her a very long time and her grown children to get involved to get most of her money back and threatening to go to court. And then she hired us to come and complete her project.
I really liked when you talked about this because seniors, we have a lot of seniors in our community in general, not just South Lake, and they tend to get taken advantage of more than anybody else because they're work that they can't do. And so they're grateful to find somebody. And sometimes it's hard to find a contractor. It's not like it was 10 years ago where you got 100 guys out of work for every single industry and qualified people can do the job on the cheap. It's hard to get somebody that'll come in and do a job,
It can be, but I also think in the senior population, 55, maybe 65 and over, they grew up in an era where your word was your bond.
Right. Yep.
And you didn't have to run behind people and check.
Right.
And it breaks my heart, but we are not in that place anymore.
Do you use contracts?
We do. We use contracts. Our contracts are one page, very simple.
Is that something you tell people to look for with a licensed contractor? That the word contractor comes out of that, doesn't it?
I do and I don't, because there are legitimate licensed contractors that walk around with what I call a receipt book.
Right, a purchase
and they
order.
and they just write it down and they, give the customer that, and, they don't ask the customer to sign it, anything like that. Okay. So I don't consider that a legal contract.
Neither of us are lawyers.
Right. So I don't know.
But in the state of Florida, if it's written down, it's far more enforceable than I told you. If what you're going to do is written down and money received is on that piece of paper, signed or not, money has been exchanged for a written agreement.
Correct.
And that's far more enforceable than, well, here's the money, when are you going to be back? I want you to, let me jump back to the resources you give people. You were talking about a list and some, you don't necessarily have places for them to go to if they've been taken advantage of, but you try to help them solve the problem. You try to educate them. You educate several, you go into HOAs and educate them as well.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what resources you offer people to help.
Okay, that's a great question. What we do is we have a list, a checklist that we hand out, and we can hand out at any HOA. Just invite us at any HOA meeting. And it's how to vet your contractor, okay? And you can even Google this. It's online, how to vet your contractor. Some industries are licensed and regulated by the state. If they are not, they don't actually have to be on the state website, the DBPR. That doesn't mean they're not a good contractor. And also what some people don't know is BBB. I have many older individuals say to us, well, you don't have an A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau. What they never understand is we have to pay for that.
Right, yeah.
So it's like
BBB
Home Advisor.
is like Angie's List or
It's
Home
like
Advisor.
Home
You have to pay to
Advisor
be on there.
And
Yep.
Angie's List, but they think because we're not on there, we're questionable.
Right.
So I want to say that that's not necessarily true either. So ask for a license. It is your right as a customer to see a license see the insurance.
I think you just said the most important thing: ask. If you're not getting the answers to the questions, then there's something wrong. Look, we put up your website here. Walk us through. This is some of the work that you've done. I think actually in that top left picture, there's an extra large panel is a perfect example of some of what you were talking about, customizing.
I think that is the photograph, because those are 5.5 feet apart.
No kidding.
Yes.
So you can do wider than that.
Yeah, we can span up to 11 by code.
Do you have that checklist on this website?
I do not.
If somebody wants to get that checklist, can you email it to them?
I can.
Can you email?
Yes.
I'm sure Jay they can reach out to you through there. We'll put up your contact info. Here's another picture. That's some work you did. They're perfect example. That's extra wide, right?
That is wide. Now that's called a panel roof room. Now this beautiful home was built with nothing out back. The sliding doors walked out to just a concrete slab. We see that a lot,
particularly on new builds, actually.
Yes. So 2-story walked out to a concrete slab. The customer did not want just a regular panel roof room. They wanted the shade. But what you see on there is Brad added what we call pergola detail. So it looks like a pergola from the sides and from the front.
But it's not.
But it's not a pergola. And the columns there that you see, those are customized columns. They are fitted around the uprights. So the upright's still in there. That's not structural. It's just a detail.
This is actually a perfect example. I can actually tell you that from a realtor's point of view, with my customers that are doing new construction, it's far cheaper to use an aftermarket contractor than it is to use the builder. It's almost twice as much to have the builder do it. What about this next picture?
Okay, this picture is a neighborhood we do a lot of work in, and it's called Waterside Point.
Oh,
People love to live on Blue Cypress Drive. Mm-hmm. It is gorgeous out there, but they do have bugs.
Yeah.
They're on that canal. So we do a lot in Waterside Point, but what I want you to notice is Brad's signature door. That is an 8-foot door. Most contractors won't put in an 8-foot door because it costs more, and they don't know how to do it well and make it stable. We put in an 8-foot door because those customers have 8-foot doors coming out. Their front door is an 8-foot door. So we want to match it.
We're on your Facebook page, and you can see some of the interior here. Oh, tell us about those lights. I thought that was really cool.
Okay, so this is a brand new product we started offering. These lights are actually on the uprights when we put the cage up. All right, so as we come in and build the pool cage, those lights are basically inside that beam that goes across. It's cool. Very streamlined, very beautiful. You can't see any wires. You can't see anything like that. Now, if you say to me, well, I already have a pool cage, I don't need you to build it, we can retrofit that.
And I understand that this operates off your phone. You can change colors. Tell us what the lights can do. It's not just the bare white light on.
Correct. It's not the bare white light on. You can set it that way, or you can dim it for ambiance. But you can also change it to each color of the rainbow spectrum. And you do that with a remote. The system also comes with an app. So if you choose to download the app on your phone, you can, if you're playing music off your phone, say, you can have the lights pulse with the beat of your music.
I love that idea.
What we have is, I have a picture.
Party light.
Right. I have a picture of one customer that actually changed their lights to blue and made their water look blue. And it was just so romantic.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It was a wonderful thing.
I could talk to you all day, Debra.
Right?
And unfortunately, we've run out of time. I would like you to look into this camera. This is the people. Okay. Tell them how to reach out to you, how to get in touch with you, an email to get if they want that thing sent to them. So that's you. Your information is up now. So go ahead. Tell the people how to get in touch with you.
Good morning. So the best way to reach us is a1screens.com. There's a contact us tab on the top, and every email that I get through that will come directly to me, to my phone if I'm out, or even to my watch, because technology is wonderful.
This is perfect. Jay is pointing this out on the screen as you're talking about it.
There you go. So contact us. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, even if it's about a different industry contractor, how to vet a contractor, whatever I can do to be helpful. So another thing that we do offer is we offer hurricane safety checks. If you have a pool cage, contact us. We'll come out and we'll give it a good check.
Great. Debra, thank you so much for being here. We are going to wrap up. I know that Debra's got some stuff to go do. What?
Bologna Day.
Bologna Day.
Okay, so shout out to my mom, because she will take bologna and make what she calls ham salad out of it. But it was never ham salad, okay?
No ham in it.
It was actually made by bologna.
That's a Southern thing, actually, I think.
Is.
It's a Southern thing,
it is. So
it's like using
chunk of bologna.
Duke's mayo is
right. You take this chunk of bologna, you grind it up, put all this stuff in it, and you call it ham salad.
Ham salad. You ain't fooling anybody who's ever actually had ham salad.
But it's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Now
That's
you're
the
making me
problem
want
with bologna.
some. But now you're making me want some. Yeah. But today is also non-processed food day.
Non-processed. It's food day. So.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
All right. So thank you, Debra, for being here. I really appreciate you. Look. If you know somebody who should be a guest on Joe Knows South Lake, my information is up there. Reach out to me, onejoeknows@gmail.com. We all know it. My phone number is there. You can text me. You can call me. You can private message me off of Facebook. Of course, you'll have to friend request me to get that one in. If you know somebody should be advertising, let me know. We have some extremely affordable advertising rates, and I still have the Spotlight sponsor available. So let me know. Finally, I would like to remind you that there is greatness inside you. And like my friend Debra has done, it's not always about the business. She educates people to help protect them. That's showing her greatness. I encourage you to show your greatness today. Dare to bring out the greatness in someone else. I'll see you tomorrow when we have Joe Gustafson. We got a chance to talk to him the other day. He's going to talk about what he can do for the city of Claremont. He's running for city council, seat 2. And I really encourage you to tune in for that, because if you're going to vote, and you should vote, you should be an informed voter. So thank you very much for joining us. I will see you tomorrow, and I love you. Bye-bye. My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake.